So it's come up on my computer, the content of this meeting is being sent to a third party. Is that
That's
related?
YouTube.
That's the live stream.
So I just have to say, got it? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. It's come up on my computer, the content of this meeting is being sent to a third party.
So
Is that
That's
related?
YouTube.
that's YouTube.
That's the live stream.
So I just have to say, got it? Is that?
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Yeah, just say okay. And I guess our Zoom masters, I guess Susan, if you feel comfortable, would you be able to spotlight the speakers as we move through the proceedings?
Yes, I can.
Oh, this is exciting. It's a good turnout. Hopefully everyone's doing well on this fine Saturday morning.
Got my coffee, I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, think about it. Just put in the chat, just helpful reference. Of course, all the documents would have been distributed to everyone, but for reference, you can also find them on the District 64 website there as well. And that also includes today's agenda. Oh, we'll be getting started in just a couple minutes. People are jumping on.
Are you nervous, Stephen?
I guess a little bit. This is the first time doing a district council meeting. Going through the procedures with a little bit more rigor. But I'm definitely grateful for the support. Because it really is a team effort. Team efforts. But always a little bit of nerves, of course.
Just think, any little screw up, we'll be bringing it back at your roast. So no pressure.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I have to try to find creative ways to use the gavel somehow. It's so funny.
Not on YouTube now.
Yeah.
That's an OnlyFans thing.
All right. I see that we're at 10 o'clock, and I think we've communicated that we'd start promptly at this time. So maybe I'll just quickly check in with the district council planning team that I'm so lucky to have been supporting me right leading up to this. So Laverne, are you feeling ready? Who's our parliamentarian? You can. I can't see or hear, but I'm assuming that we're ready there. And Alfred, you're good to go, and Sylvia.
Good to go.
Yep, we're good. Ready.
And we have also additional support. So Connie, thank you for acting as timer as well. You're feeling good to go as well. Okay, perfect. Thumbs up. And of course we have Susan Page, who supported by Patrick Goodrich as well. And Connie also, who are helping as co-hosts as well. So are you all feeling good as well?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let's get started. So I'd like to bring this meeting to order. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. The fall 2024 District 64 Council meeting will come to order. I am Stephen Bryden, your district director this year for 2024-2025, and the presiding officer at this meeting. I'd like to welcome all club officers, the presidents and the vice presidents of education, and the district executive, and the voting members, and the members and guests that may be watching on our YouTube live stream, on our District 64 Toastmasters live stream channel. I just want to say some opening remarks. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to be able to preside over this meeting. This meeting marks a major milestone that happens every district, every year in Toastmasters districts around the world. And of course, District 64 is not alone. It's a milestone that kind of marks the end of the quarter where we're just about to review and approve and adopt some very important documents and points of business that we'll be going through. And that's really the reason why we have the club representatives here to enable us to have this discussion and move through these different business items so that we can progress District 64 to proceed forward through this coming year with confidence. So for that, I'm very grateful for everyone taking the time to come out and help support this meeting, representing your members, being members yourself and enjoying this journey. And we're going to be setting the stage for District 64 to have a great year this coming year. So I'm really excited to get to the proceedings. So first off, I would like to welcome Susan Page to the floor to deliver our district mission. Susan.
Sorry, I just gotta fix this. There we go. Welcome, everybody. The mission, or the district's mission, is to build new clubs and to support all clubs in achieving excellence, which I think District 64 does quite well. And I will turn it back to you, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Susan. Next up, and this is a really important piece that we have to hear from. I'd like to please help me welcome Alfred Kirkprin to present the report of the Credentials Committee. Alfred.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Here is the credential report for the business meeting of September 21st, 2024. There are 68 eligible clubs in the district as of September 20th. 2024. Each club receives 2 votes, one for the president and one for the vice president of education. To achieve quorum, 1/3 of the presidents and vice presidents of education of eligible club must be presented, which is 46 votes. There are 78 president and vice presidents represented. As such, we have achieved quorum. There are also 24 district executive committee members represented. District executive committee members do not count toward achieving a quorum. The total ballots available are 102. If everyone votes, a simple majority would be 51. A 2/3 vote would be 68. Respectfully submitted, Alfred Körperin, DTM, as District Director. And 2024-2025 District Credential Chair. Mr. District Director.
Thank you, Alfred. Are there any questions on the credentials reports?
Sorry, what did Alfred say our Janet Pigeon, what did Alfred say our quorum is today? Like what? How many do we have?
Alfred?
There are 78 president and vice president represented. As such, we have a quorum.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions on the credentials reports? Without objection, the credentials report is adopted. Without objections, the credential report is adopted. And there is no objection. The credentials report is adopted as filed. So next up, next item of business is the adoption of the agenda that has been distributed. You've received this agenda in advance via email, and it's also posted on the district website. Without objection, the agenda is adopted. Are there any objections? Seeing no objections, the agenda is adopted. Voting procedures. Our parliamentarian, Laverne Wojciechowski, will explain the voting procedures. Laverne, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. District Director. For each vote, the district council members will be asked to raise their hand either in the affirmative or negative. So you've been given voting cards to raise. So when we ask to raise your hand, show your voting card as such. Council members holding 1, 2, or 3 votes have been asked to prepare their voting cards in advance and hold up your voting card. Members who don't have video are asked to use the raise hand control instead of raising their hand. And please raise your cards when the district director asks you to do so, either in the affirmative or the negative. Back to you.
Thank you, Laverne. Additionally, a copy of the proposed standing rules for this meeting has been circulated. Sylvia, please read the standing rules.
Standing rules are, first, voting members, only presidents, vice presidents of education, and members of the district executive committee are eligible to vote at the district council meeting. Non-ballot voting will be done by showing of voting cards or by raised hand indicator for those without video. 2, motions. All main motions shall be submitted to the administration manager via email to administration@district64.ca 48 hours prior to the meeting. Format for the motions will be I move that or be it resolved that. Decorum. To avoid distractions during conduct of the meeting's business, all microphones will be muted except for the member who has the floor. Courtesy when addressing the assembly is required of all. 4, conduct. Members wishing to speak will select the raised hand icon and wait to be recognized by the chair. Their microphone will be unmuted to permit them to make a motion or debate. 5, debate. For each debatable motion, a member shall be limited to 2 speeches of not more than 1 minute each. No delegate may speak a second time until all who wish to speak have done so. Total debate on each main motion shall be limited to no more than 15 minutes. Extension of debate on any of the time limits established in these rules shall require a 2/3 vote. The district director shall appoint a timer. 6, parliamentary authority. The rules contained in the current edition of Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, shall govern the meeting in all cases to which they are applicable and in which they are not inconsistent with the bylaws and policies of Toastmasters International and these standing rules. I move the adoption of the standing rules as circulated.
And do we have a seconder? Oh, I see.
I'll second Doreen.
Thank you, Doreen.
You have to state your name if you second.
Okay, Doreen has seconded. You can continue on, please, Stephen.
Oh, thank you, Laverne. It is moved and seconded to adopt the standing rules for September 21st meeting as read. This requires a 2/3 vote. So the question on the adoption of the standing rules as provided, those in favor, please raise your hand. And please keep them raised so that way we can count appropriately.
Hand or card?
Your electronic hand or your cards if you're able. And thank you. So you may lower your hands. Those opposed, please raise your hands or cards. So those opposed, please raise your hands or cards. All right, there's 2/3 a vote in the affirmative, at least 2/3 of vote in the affirmative, and the standing rules are adopted for September 21st District Council meeting. All right, the next order of, and everyone may lower their hands if they're still raised. The next item of business is the adoption of the minutes from the April 20th, 2024 District Council meeting. A copy of the minutes was provided via email. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
I have a question. Sorry. I didn't see that. I read all the documents. I didn't see minutes. When was that sent out, please? Janet Pigeon speaking.
That was sent out 14 days prior as part of the information package, and it's also subsequently been uploaded to our District 64 website.
I thought I read all of them. I missed that.
Are there, no, thank you, Jeanette. Are there any questions? Corrections for the minutes? Seeing none. Seeing none, the minutes are approved as circulated. Now moving on to the appointed executive members. Some of our officers are elected and others are appointed by the district director. A list of the executive officer appointments for 2024-2025 was sent by email. It's also posted online at the District 64 website. I will read the list of the appointed executive members. Please bear with me for 1 minute. Okay, the appointed leaders are as follows. Area 11, Robert McDowell. Please note we did make a small correction on his name because the original document that we sent out 14 days prior had an incorrect spelling of Robert McDowell with an E instead of an A, but that has since been corrected and distributed. So that Area 11, Robert McDowell. We have Area 12, Hamant Basfar. We have Area 14, June Story. Area 15, Karen Chambers. Area 21, Susan Page. Area 22, Brenda Smith. Area 23, Michael Zacharias. Area 24, Connie Ganoski. Area 31, Juliette Petrelli. Area 32, Jackie Shesnick. Area 33, Karen Hebert. Area 34, Rodney Juba. Area 41, Ralph McQueen. Area 42, Karen Kaisik Cates. Area 43 Director, Kaku Coffee. Area 44 Director, Annie Henry. Our Public Relations Manager, Don Wood. Our District Finance Manager, Lloyd Gawilliam. Our Audit Committee Chair, Helen Durkatz. Our District Administration Manager, Sylvia Nielsen Barkman. And then we have our Logistics Chair, Susan Page. Is there a motion to approve these appointments? Or could I have a
Yes.
motion?
Oh, sorry. Yes, Stephen. I, Doreen Roman, move to approve the list of officers appointed for the 2024-2025 year.
And do we have a seconder? Oh, I see Deb Solfson.
Mr.
As a-
District Director, what if I have a question prior to the adoption of the motion?
Ooh, Laverne, if you have guidance.
That's the motion. and-
You've already made the seconder, so that means there's more than one person that wants to discuss. So address this question now.
Please, David, the floor is yours. For the
My question
questions.
to you and the floor, Mr. District Director, is we're not one of your division directors appointed after the election and should be included in this list?
Ooh. Is that Patrick
Nancy?
Goodrich or Nancy? Nancy, yes, in Division B. That is correct. So we will have to amend the appointments to make sure that that's included. So what would be the best way to, do we need to make an amendment then, Laverne?
You can either amend or just when we finish doing the voting, you can accept it with the corrections noted.
Ooh, for further discussion, Nancy.
Yes, Stephen, you said that area 24 was Connie. Her name is Corinne.
Oh, Corinne. Oh, sorry, I mispronounced her name as read in the
Just
the
making
appointees.
sure
Thank
you knew that.
No, thank you, Nancy. Yeah, Corinne. My apologies. So then, if I heard correctly, are there any more points of discussion? So if I understand corrected, can we have a motion to accept the appointed leaders as recommended to be amended?
Nope. Stephen,
no,
you've
please.
already made the motion.
Okay.
You've got some corrections. So I would suggest that you ask if they want to vote on the motion with the list as corrected.
Ooh, okay. Would we like to vote on the motion with the list as corrected?
I'll second that. Rodney Juba, the President, Speak Up Parkland, Dauphin, Manitoba, Area 34 Director. I second that motion.
All right. Thank you. So for those, so now we move into voting, if I understand correctly. So for those in favor to vote for the appointed leaders as corrected, please raise your hands. Those in favor, please raise your hands or cards. All right, thank you. You may lower your hands. For those opposed, please raise your hands. For those opposed, please raise your hands. Seeing that we have a majority, the appointments are approved. Now we're moving on to the budget. So our proposed budget for 2024-2025 was distributed by email and it's also posted on the District 64 website now. I'd like to welcome our finance manager, Lloyd Gulliam, to speak on the budget. Lloyd, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I finally get to do something other than sit here. So I have a presentation. I'll just share that. I thought it might make it easier to relate to. So the District 64 proposed budget, some of the thoughts that were put together for this was we're moving more toward a pre-COVID norms as we get further away from 2020 where it was a disaster. The contests are returning to in-person, so you have to give that some consideration. And I did something a little, I don't know if it's different or not, but I went back all the way to the pre-COVID budgets and saw what they had for budget monies when things were normal. I guess if normal is a word, or maybe a better word is when it was in person. And we tried to integrate all that into the budget footprint for this year. So you guys had access to the budget summary. You didn't actually have the whole budget, but the summary was posted like this. I wanted to talk about these line totals because that's probably the whole meat of the conversation anyway. So I'll talk about revenue first. So what we have planned for this year, Toastmasters gave us the number for membership dues allocation. They said $32,389. Plan that for this year. We planned conference revenue around $17,000. It may be higher, it may be lower, depending on what actually happens, but that usually comes out to like a net zero thing, but there's a plan for that. Fundraising, we planned $3,150 for fundraising, and we planned some events. They're not actually solid yet, but just some ideas and some concepts for fundraising. Education and training, well, that was to cover if we're doing some of the TLIs and taking the money in for the TLIs. The district store revenue, $1,000. And then speech contest revenue, we didn't anticipate any at this time, but that may change in the future. On the expense side, so Toastmasters charges us every month for the calculations, I guess. So they take $1,600. The conference expense, it was just offset against what we thought would be income. Fundraising expense, we didn't anticipate any at the moment. District store expense, maybe buying $500 more in supplies and trying to maybe sell down some of the supplies we do have. Marketing outside Toastmasters, $2,859. Recognition expense, things like awards and incentives and trophies and things like that, $2,850. Club growth expense, things helping us grow the clubs, $2,550. Public relations, $1,280. Well, there's a bunch of numbers on the screen. Anyway, education and training, $4,850, just to offset that $5,100. So there's a little bit of income there. Speech contest expense, well, here we might need some rooms or some trophies or some certificates. Administration expense at $3,200, food and meals, and travel and lodging. And those last three are our district leaders usually traveling to the international convention or midwinter training. And that is probably our biggest expense of the year, is just sending these guys and getting them the heck out of here. Down on the bottom, Toastmasters does a whole bunch of calculations with a spreadsheet, and we have to honor these numbers. I'll show you them in a little bit bigger style. This is the sheet, and everything it says we meet policy, we meet policy, we meet policy. We met policy on everything, but there's two areas, travel and lodging, where we're a little bit over the percentages they allow. So we had to get special permission. So Stephen sent a letter to Toastmasters, and Toastmasters come back and say, apologies for the multiple emails. I thought they always taught us not to apologize. But anyway, the lodging and travel exceptions have been approved. Please send us the finalized budget after you guys approve it with the required signatures when available. Oh, and then I had, are there any questions? Stop the share. Are there any questions? I don't see any, so I'll go to my next slide. On behalf of the District Executive Council, I'm...
Excuse me?
Sorry.
There was a hand up.
Yeah, I couldn't find my reaction button. You said that for doing the figures or something, district takes so much money. Is that per month, per year?
Toastmasters International charges 4% for bookkeeping, I would call it.
Yeah, but you said a figure 1,300 or something.
I think it was $1,619.
Yeah, is that per month, per year?
They take $134 a month.
Okay,
It's a monthly thing they do just
okay, thank you.
I think it's dastardly and terrible, but whatever, that's just me. Ingrid, yes.
So I'm new, so I'm leaning on experience at another national association. And it was the responsibility of executive council to pay their own way, regardless of where the convention was paid. So is this just one of the perks that Toastmasters gives its elected officials to go to international conferences on someone else's dime?
So the easy answer to that, the short answer to that would be yes. The long answer would be if you go through the Toastmasters International government documents, which are about 12,000 pages, it's part of the procedures that they've been doing over the years and building up to. And that's what is still on the books today.
Okay, so as somebody that's new and somebody who is fiscally responsible, the numbers jumped out at me that they were so much higher than the percentage. So just a word of caution, that's an awful lot of money going for very few people when perhaps more money going to the general membership in the views of training, recognition, would actually build Toastmasters. All you're doing is rewarding a few people at the top, which the vast majority of us will never reach. And I think it's a red flag when that much money is spent.
Well, I will say one of the reasons it's over the percentage is because we've lost membership and our income's a little lower than it has been in the past. But as we grow, the clubs are going to come where that's more of a even keel number, where it actually matches those. And it has been exceptional that Toastmasters has been giving those exceptions. One of the things is just trying to come back out of COVID and get back to in-person meetings.
But it's all about perception, and maybe you're losing people because they think this is for a few favored at the top, and you're not putting money into building the district.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Any other questions? I see Rodney.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I don't have a real question, but we're a small club out here in Dauphin. We run on a shoestring budget. We don't have any funds to purchase pins for recognition. We don't have funds for badges for our club members. So I was just wondering if follow up with the further person. Like I agree totally that continuing education and sending district officers to conventions is very important. But for some of the struggling clubs, I was just wondering if there was a way that the district would say, okay, send us a bag of pins, or send us some incentives, so that when I still have my very first gold pin that when I first joined Toastmasters a number of years ago, and every now and then that hat disappears, but every now and then I find that hat with that pin on it, and I go, oh yeah, that's when so those little those tokens of being welcomed as a new member, those are sometimes we get new members and it's hard to retain them, but we don't have a budget to recognize them when they meet goals within the group. But that's probably digressing from this discussion, but I
thanks, Thanks, Rodney. I think that's something I looked at Stephen. I think he was jotting it down there, maybe something to think about and address in the future. Lynn? I think I'm running out of time, but Lynn.
I'll be brief, I promise. With all respect to Ingrid, I think it's vitally important that District 64 be represented at the various international events. I think that the top 3 people who go, I've never been able to be one of them, but the top 3 people who go bring excellent ideas and resources back to District 64 that are useful. With regard to the comment about recognition and small tokens at our clubs. My club here in Winnipeg, and this is not the first club I belong to that does the same thing, assesses a small fee to each member each year to cover off that type of recognition. It's $20 for new members. And that means that we have sufficient funds that if we want to purchase those extra bits for a club, we can. Another club I belong to in Saskatchewan was able to get corporate sponsorship from the community for those kinds of things. So I understand that we need to be watching our dollars, and I understand the clubs in District 64 are operating on shoestrings in many cases, but I just want to reiterate, I think it's important that the top 3 people get to international. And if they had to do the entire thing on their own dime, we might have trouble recruiting people to those positions because of the financial implications. Thank you.
I will just say this was not meant to be a debate about how we spend our money and whether we should or shouldn't spend it on certain things. These are the parameters that Toastmasters gives us to build the budget. We're falling within the budget, and we're going to vote on whether we accept this budget or not. It seems like a pretty decent budget. If you think we spend too much money on some things, that's maybe something in the future we have to take to Toastmasters, because we cannot change that in the district ourselves if you think there's a problem with the whole way Toastmasters does it. So how they run their business. And that's something where you'd have to take a motion to the district, have it put up to the board and move it through that way. But today we're just after this budget that we presented, and it fits within the Toastmasters confines of their policies. One more question, or is Adam just putting his hand up for? Oh, okay.
Hi, no, I just wanted to clarify that it's not the convention that the trio is being sent to. It is district level training that they're being sent to. If I'm not mistaken, the conference they have to pay to get into themselves, they're being sent to these locations for the training purposes, not just to be rewarded.
Okay, thank you.
If I could just add to that, yes. So definitely to Lloyd's point, sending the district trio to the district leadership training twice per year, just like club officers go to club officer training twice per year. District leaders are also on a training and learning and development path. So we're sent out there, and of course, I think it was to Lynn's point. There's also the connection to the board and the peers, and it's a tremendous learning environment to bring back good ideas to help improve our district. And the last point I think Lloyd had commented on and brought up is that our district is still recovering actually from the pandemic, and we're a very small district. And Toastmasters International knows this and realizes this, and there's a reason why there's percentage allocations for travel, lodging. And one of the reasons is that because we've kind of gone down below what a healthy district should be, we have to go over and above these spending allocations, and Toastmasters is well aware of it, and we're kind of forced into the expense of going to where Toastmasters is because we're mandated to go through policy. So to Lloyd's point, yeah, we're following the guidelines and procedures, and we're being compliant to what's being asked of us for how we plan to spend our monies each year. And then Toastmasters is intentionally giving us the exception because they know that there's several unhealthy districts. And I'll be making I'll be sharing a little bit of information actually in my coming report at the end of this meeting that will speak to a change that's coming. That's actually one of the reasons behind of many small districts around the world having these same challenges. But more to come on that. So thank you. Really great discussion and contributions.
Okay.
So if there's any more, so at this point, could we get a motion?
I am going to give that motion.
Please.
On behalf of the District Executive Council, I move to adopt the District 64 budget for the 2024 to 2025 year as presented.
All right, it is moved to adopt the budget as presented. The question is on the adoption of the budget as presented. Is there, well, we've had a debate, but is there any additional debate?
That was just questions.
Or is there any debate? So are you ready for, oh, sorry, Rodney.
I was just ready to second the motion, seeing as I brought up a concern, so I'll second that motion if it's ready to be seconded.
Just a point of order, we don't need a seconder because this is required business for the meeting. So that's why he didn't ask for a seconder.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, but thank you for the participation. So seeing, I saw Susan Sidorn had her hand up, unless she was waiting for the vote.
I was waiting for the vote.
Okay, so I think we're ready for the question then. We're ready for the question if there's no added debate. So for those in favor of adopting the budget for the 2024-2025 as proposed, please raise your hands. Or cards, voting cards. Okay, thank you. You may lower your hands. And then for those who are opposed, please raise your hands. Or cards, or voting cards. All right, the affirmative has it, and the 2024-2025 budget is approved. All right, so now, so another change that so the district financial guidelines are reviewed periodically to ensure that they conform to the Toastmasters policies and procedures. There were several required changes that the team found several required changes to conform to these policies. Lloyd William will speak to this issue and these details. Lloyd, the floor is yours.
Thank you once again, Stephen. Yes, I was on the audit committee. I'm the audit committee chair for last year and the finance manager for this year. So one thing the committee had found, as the committee's going through the audit, they're looking at policies and procedures to make sure that we're spending the money to match the policies and procedures. And then we found out that the district financial guidelines, some things were a little bit off from what we're doing or just need a correction. So I sent out a list, and that was actually published as well. And I'll try to go through this. The changes we made, one was changing the word spring convention to spring conference. The convention is held at International, the conference is held within the district, and it seems it's something prior to 2014 even. So just to change that wording so that you're not confused when you're talking about conventions and conferences. We changed section 1, district funds and controls. We added club growth director as a bank signing and approving authority, as it actually wasn't in the wording. So that was just something to update the wording there. And that matches up with Toastmasters International. The third item we changed, also in section 1, district funds and controls, was added instructions on monthly reconciliation of merchants accounts, such as PayPal, Stripe, Eventbrite, whichever one we're using. That's a requirement from Toastmasters International that we reconcile our bank accounts, and merchant accounts are considered the same as bank accounts, so we have to reconcile them monthly. Section 1, district funds and controls, we added instructions on the use of e-transfers, because that's something we have used in the past, but we don't have much behind that, so we put some instructions in there. And this is something that if we use it for a year and we see we have to change it again, the finance manager each year is supposed to kind of report on changes that may have to be updated. So that's something we put down there, what we think would work. And it's to do with our bank account, because our bank account, once you get over 20 transactions, they start to charge for each transaction $1.25, and it gets cheaper to use the merchant account instead of e-transfers. Number 5 was section 3, travel outside the district. We added clarity to the district leader full international convention registration reimbursement. So some things have happened over the years where they go down to the convention. They used to pay for certain things and you got some of the items, but recently Toastmasters have been breaking it out into different areas, so you have to select them when we weren't sure. So we just wanted to clarify that so it makes it easier for the audit committees when they're going through that. Section number 6 was section 3, travel outside the district. We added the words meal cost because we didn't have a policy that paid for the meals when the district leaders were out at the international convention, and we're supposed to pay for it. Toastmaster says we can pay for it. We just didn't have the wording there. So when we paid for it, your audit team would say, hey, it doesn't say you can pay them. Number 7, section 4, district spring conference and special events. We added clarity on wording for spring conference requirements. And this was that it was just to do with the wording. We said we actually pay for the hotel for the 3 district leaders and the spring convention chair. And it didn't actually say that exactly. So we just cleaned that up. That was about all that was. Number 8 was section 1, district funds and controls. Section 4, district spring conference and special events. This sounds real technical, actually, but we added clarity to district director responsibility to approve district level contracts. We needed to make sure that the district director was the one signing contracts because that's what Toastmasters asks to be done. Number 9 was section 1, district funds and controls. We added instructions on 50/50 raffles, added with recording sheet at the end to use for 50/50 raffles. And this one was because we hadn't been documenting them properly, and we were worried that if Liquor, Gaming, and Cannabis Authority of Manitoba come out, they could audit us and they could actually take the ability for us to run 50/50. So we just wanted something in writing so that everybody can refer to it and do it that way. Number 10 was other district events. We added clarification that all funds within the district events and our district funds. So that was to do like next weekend, we have a fall rally coming up, and that's a district event, and the district's responsible for all the financials around it. If we make money, lose money, pay money, get money back, that's a district thing. And it wasn't clear. And that was something actually from the 2018-19 audit committee that hadn't been implemented yet because we went into COVID and things kind of fell behind. One thing we did not change was area and division director travel reimbursements for attending the annual business meeting like next spring. When the area directors and division directors actually attend the annual business meeting when it's held at the spring conference, we can pay their mileage, but we aren't doing that right now because we're having the annual business meeting separate from the conference. So as long as that goes on, we can't pay them, but we left it that way as it is now in case we return to that normal. That's the way it was before COVID. So, and that's all we changed. I don't know. Should I ask for questions, Stephen? I guess maybe questions. I see a red light, but we'll have to live with the red light.
I think we asked for a motion and then there can be debate on that motion.
Okay. Well, I move to adopt the District 64 financial guidelines as circulated.
Thank you, Lloyd. Do we have a seconder?
Okay.
And if we do, I see, is that Greg? Greg Parent is a seconder. Thank you, Greg. Is there any debate?
I have a question, Janet Pigeon.
Please,
Okay.
Janet.
All right, it's a long document. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just gonna say page 5, where it says, all district checks are to be signed by the district director and finance manager. And yet later on, it says the district director cannot sign their own check. So I'm a little confused there.
In that case, one of the 2 other officers would sign the check for that person. That would be if they're getting paid the money. So like if Stephen's getting paid the money for something, he can't sign the check. Somebody else has to.
But then why does it say the district director and it maybe should say or? I don't know.
No, it has to be 2 signatures. It has to do with the bank account. We need dual signatures.
But it says district director and finance manager.
That's right from Toastmasters International, that those 2 people sign the checks unless there's an exception like you noted there where Stephen's getting paid, somebody else signs that check.
And then at the very last, just at the bottom, there's a 50/50 form and it said District 65. No
That's it.
Big deal, but.
It does too. I don't have a pen to correct that. Thank you for reading all the way to the last page. I would blame my secretary. Well, I use Chat GPI to, no, that was me. So 64. Thank you. Oh, you've made my day, Jennifer. Janet.
Is there any more debate or questions?
It's a curiosity more than anything. How was $40 determined as the limit for e-transfers?
Oh, that was just, that's based on, if you go over the 20 e-transfers, it starts to cost us $1.25 at the bank. So if we do them through a merchant account like PayPal, then about 40 is the break-even point. Anything below 40 costs less, and anything above 40 costs more. So that was where that was from.
Okay. So yeah, okay, I understand that now.
And
I
it's
just
just
thought when you received it, there was no cost, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just because of the bank account charging versus going through PayPal or something. Eh? And I mean, we may have to change that in the future. We'll see. But the thing is, we didn't want to get $15 ones and then start paying $1.25 for each e-transfer. It's because of the limitation at the bank.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Lloyd.
The question, Stephen.
Are there any last items of debate? Are we ready for the question? So the question is on the adoption of the District 64 financial guidelines as recommended to change the district from 65 to 64 as corrected. Those in favor, please raise your hands. Well, make my window bigger. Thank you. You may lower your hands. For those opposed, please raise your hands. For those opposed, please raise your hands. All right. Thank you. The affirmative has it, and the District 64 financial guidelines are approved. The next item of business is the report of the Alignment Committee. Please help me welcome Doreen Roman to the floor to provide us the District Club realignment reports.
Thank you, Mr. District Director. Speaking points for the club realignment updates are PC speakers, move, and rationale. Toastmasters International requires 3 or more clubs to be in an area. At the beginning of the year, Area 44 had only 2 clubs, which necessitated the need to move a club to be compliant to Toastmasters International rules. It was decided to move PC speakers to a corporate club in Area 43 that had 5 clubs, and 4 of which were rural clubs. Moving PC speakers from Area 43 to Area 44 re-leveled both areas, 43 down to 4 clubs and Area 44 up to 3 clubs. Since this change was submitted to TI, Toast of IG has come back from being suspended to a club in good standing in Area 44. Area 44 now shows 4 clubs. Bison Communicators, assignment and rationale. Last, Bison Global Communicators is a brand new charter club in District 64 with the paperwork filed at Toastmasters International. Once that club is formally processed, it will be assigned to Area 22. Note the original alignment document identified to assign to Area 24. However, good news is City Slickers has come back to be a club in good standing and is now on the board. Additionally, Area 22 has a club that may be in jeopardy, so the team decided to assign Bison Communicators to Area 22, which creates the most optimal fit. That is my report.
Thank you, Doreen. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to have that report adopted.
All right, that
David
was
Story International, or IPDD International. Not yet, IPDD.
Thank you, David Story. We do not need a seconder because this is a report. So I'll ask the question, is there any debate?
I have a question, Jennifer.
Oh, no, please. Yeah, please.
Doreen mentioned Area 22. When I printed off maybe I didn't have an updated one, but when I printed off the list, there's no Area 22.
Oh. Should be area 22. Are you talking about the document that was distributed, Jeanette? Or
Yeah. I printed this one off from the one a while ago, a couple of weeks ago.
We did send an amended, updated one because the original document that we sent 2 weeks ago had different understanding than the changing needs of the district as of just like less than a week ago, actually. So it would have been distributed a few days ago, and it's also
it would be
updated
on the new one?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we had to make an amendment last minute because the district is changing all the time, and then clubs were coming back, and then we found that okay, there's a more optimal place, and that's what necessitated the need to change Bison Global Communicators where we're going to place them. Who actually is technically on the board now, so now we can actually send in the formal request to move them now, assuming that we have to get through this motion actually. So we have the motion. We're on the debate. Is there any other points of debate or questions? Seeing none, are we ready for the question? The question is on the adoption of the amended club alignment for 2024-2025. Those in favor, please raise your hands or cards or your voting cards. Oh, thank you. You may lower your hands. For those opposed, please raise your hands. All right, I believe the affirmative has it, and the amended club alignment is approved. All right, so next point on the agenda is the Audit Committee report. The Audit Committee consists of 3 Toastmasters that are not on the District Executive Committee, and they're appointed by the District Director. Lloyd Guwilliam will present the year-end audit report of the Audit Committee for this past year, the year of 2023-2024. Lloyd, the floor is yours to deliver this report.
Thank you, Stephen. The year-end audit. I will be brief, although brevity was not followed with the actual written audit report circulated. But don't take the length as a sign of anything. Stick over a century of combined distinguished Toastmaster knowledge, financial acumen, and business experience in the same room, and you should expect no less. Please note, the Audit Committee also addressed lingering issues, some dating back several years as far as 2019, which you saw in the financial guidelines. Practices that have been passed down from year to year through unwritten policies like this policy here, or possibly this policy over here, unwritten. Hence the need to call for the district financial guidelines to be updated and the spring conference guide resurrected. Both have been idle for too long. There may be a little time for oral questions after the report. So if you have something you'd like answered, feel free to type it in the chat and I'll respond to it a little bit later on. I encourage you to read the full report. It is a 20 or 30-minute read, so this 3 to 5 minute oral presentation will only be a brief summary. The committee agreed I should focus on these 3 key areas. Firstly, online participation. the district should really be applauded for continuing to offer hybrid content to support online attendance at district events. Considering our geography, it's a great way to provide education, networking, communication, and contact. However, uptake is very poor. The committee believes a key issue may be pricing and suggests that area be reviewed in an attempt to increase participation. You can read about that in the full report. Secondly, club officers paying fees for profit during TLIs, and that's Toastmaster Leadership Institutes. We have to be mindful that Toastmasters does not condone fundraising off of the actual club officer training portion. That comes under Protocol 7.1, Section 4, Club Officer Training. The committee did suggest one method used in the past to make some money with the TLI while respecting Toastmasters protocols. You can read about that in a report, possibly scan the mid-year report as well. Thirdly, record keeping. Several areas need tightening up. The most striking example is the use of that 50-50 raffle for fundraising. These events are auditable by Liquor, Gaming, and Cannabis Authority of Manitoba, locally, right here at home. Our current level of record keeping would fail an audit, potentially taking away this wonderful tool we've been given. Other record keeping areas addressed were use of PayPal, e-transfers, handling of cash, etc. Written guidance for future reference were added to the district financial guidelines that we did before, and you can read more about this in the full report. And finally, I want to end with a very short discussion about fundraising. Each year, Toastmasters provides the district with 25% of membership payments to help fulfill its mission. This forms the bulk of the budget we just passed, which in times may not be fully spent. Post-COVID, our district carried large unspent reserves, which Toastmasters been clawing back, for example, $14,000 last February. My last report, I expressed frustration in our fundraising to put money in one pocket while Toastmasters was taking money out of the other pocket. However, in the last half of this year, your district team, headed by District Director, Distinguished Toastmaster David Story, worked hard to utilize some of that remaining excess reserve to support local needs right here at home. Spent the money right here at home, as I say. We should applaud them, as that is not an easy task, yet they were successful. The positive news? Going forward, any fundraising that we do will be used to support programming right here in District 64 in our pockets. As I said before, this and more can be found in the official written report circulated. Please do take the time to read and absorb it. And I think I don't see a red light, so we must have a few minutes for questions. Any questions? Let's brush them away really quick. No questions on the audit? I do want to make sure that I thank my fellow auditors. We had Distinguished Toastmaster and past International Director Sherry Wood, and we had Distinguished Toastmaster Teresa Cooper on my team for the year-end one. June, you have a question.
I do, and I'm not sure that it is related to the audit, but I wanted to ask a question about the 50-50s.
Oh, sure.
At the club level, is there a limit on how much we can do in the 50-50s to raise funds for rent of our facilities before we have to get permission from lotteries to do a 50-50? Is there a set limit?
I can't answer that question immediately, but you can go to lotteries, gaming, and what's the other one? Whatever it was, and check them out there and find out about it. I could give you an answer, but it may not be exactly correct.
Okay.
I know if you want to get a license, it's free, and you can get a license to run multiple times, so it's not a hardship. It's not a financial hardship.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Laverne.
Just a point of clarification. Is there a conflict with Lloyd being the financial manager and being on the audit committee in the past?
So before Lloyd was assigned to the role as financial manager this year, I did check in with Toastmasters International to make sure that there was not a conflict of interest, and they said that it was okay for us to assign Lloyd as District 64 finance manager this year.
It's 2 different years, right? Just to be clear, it's 2 different years.
Are there any other questions before we move to the question? No, very good questions. All right, so the question is on the adoption of the report of the audit committee. Is there any debate, any added debate? Seeing none. The question is on the adoption of the report of the audit committee. Those in favor, please raise your hand or voting cards. All right, thank you. You may lower your hands. Those opposed, please raise your hand or voting cards. Those opposed, please raise your hand or voting cards. All right. The affirmative, thank you. The affirmative has it. The report is adopted. All right. Next up is a report from our finance manager, this year's finance manager, Lloyd William. Please give us a report on the finance manager's report in terms of the current profit and loss for the data that we have to date. Lloyd, the floor is yours.
Me again. So I made a presentation. It's easier just to convey that way. So the District 64 profit and loss report month ending August, I put here. So everybody was after a Q1 report, and Q1 ends on September 30th as shown on this calendar. And today is September 21st. So it's actually hard for me to give a Q1 report because that'll come actually next month and it'll be presented in probably October or November. But this is the profit and loss report for the end of August. It is something I can provide. The only problem is it lacks budget numbers, and it lacks budget numbers because you guys only passed the budget about 5 minutes ago, so it's hard for Toastmasters updated there. But we have our actual expenses, and I wanted to talk about some of that. This is as of August 31st. The immediate month ending is always on the left side, and they show you the actual money we spent versus whatever was budgeted for that month. And then the year to date is always on the right side. And I'll talk about that area there, I believe. And again, it has the actual versus budget. So this is the right-hand side, the year to date. And I wanted to talk about the membership numbers, revenue. We have some revenue already. We've been getting new members during the summer, so we got $2,200 there. Conference revenue, $600. Well, that was a leftover check from last year that we received late. And then there's $1 there. That was your finance manager testing out e-transfers. So I donated $1 to the district. You do not have to thank me. It's only $1. District expenses, recognition, public relations, administration. These are costs that we've been going through this year. We've got some refunds for some reasons, and we have some other expenses, and we actually made $2,800 this month. We took in $2,800 net income. Oh boy, that's a short one. But that is the profit and loss report for August. And I was going to keep it short because I'm on the agenda again later on. I don't know why. They seem to like listening to me, and I have a bit more of the financial report at that time. Any questions on the profit and loss?
Nope.
It's quiet.
There's none.
Do I make a motion? No.
No motion. These are just reports as filed. So we're kind of in the district executive report section.
David has a question.
Oh, David,
Not
please.
a question, comment. Lloyd, can you go back to the slide that compares the actual?
Gosh, I put that in the garbage already. I can. I'm just kidding. Have to find it, open it up.
And
you're
it's more
after
comment than a question because it's an important that the district understand. No, the other one where they were actual month variance, that one, yes.
Yeah.
So the top line, if you look, the month end, the membership revenue was estimated at 2,000. We actually made 2,200. That means we're growing.
Oh, we are growing. That is one thing, David. I think we grew about 6% over last year.
Yep.
And we're kind of anticipating some growth this year again, like 5 or 6%.
I just want the district to know that, and that's all the club's doing their job, right? So well done.
You'll see that a little bit later on too in the financial report I give later on. It'll really be obvious there, David.
All right. Are there any other comments before we move on? Seeing none, thank you, Lloyd. The report. Thank you for the report. The report is filed. So now we're going to get on to the division reports and the executive committee reports. So with this, we'll go through our division directors first, and then move through our district executive. So for the first report is for our Division A director, Firdaus Timyati. Firdaus, the floor is yours to deliver your report.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Firdaus for Division A Director. We have Area 11, Area 12, Area 14, and Area 15 in our division. And a copy of the report, I have emailed it to your area directors. And if clubs are interested to know the details, please contact your area directors. So first up, I would like to say that there are at least 2 area visits have been completed within the month of July and August. That is in Area 12 that visited Committee Club A, and Area 14 who completed an in-person area visit to Flin Flon Toastmasters Club. Next up is on club officers training. I would like to say thank you to all club officers in Division A who attended and completed their training, because in Division A, all clubs have achieved their first training period goal with minimum 4 officers being trained. Trained officers are better officers, and we can help club members to grow along with our clubs. And I would like to also say thank you to over 87% of club officers in Division A who completed their training. And I'm sorry, so that is 80% of club officers who make the time to complete their club's successful plan. So thank you. In 81%, there's less in my report, and that's why I said please contact your area director to see the details in that report. And that's the club officer. I'm planning to report on open house, speakathon, mentoring, moments of truth, speech contest in the coming meetings. So I look forward for clubs to host this event, organize, and let us know so your club and your effort can be included in the report. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Firdaus. Our next report will be done for Division B. Nancy Ellenson, please deliver your division director's report.
Thank you, Mr. District Director. Division B is off to a great start. Of the 17 clubs in our division, 12 area visits have been scheduled, and 4 of them have been completed. Way to go, area directors. Thank you so much. 14 of the 17 clubs made sure to get their officers training completed, and 5 of them were 7 for 7 completed. Those clubs are Crossroads, River City, Virtual Toastmasters, Downtown Toastmasters, and Peak Performers. Be sure to watch for some upcoming open houses in our division. Crossroads and Dryden plan to have open houses in October, and Downtown Toastmasters had one on Wednesday morning. I highly recommend waking up for that very early meeting if you are able. It's energizing. Congratulations to City Slickers for becoming a club in good standing, and to all members who have been working hard on your Pathways projects. A special shout out to Key Club, who have completed all their educational DCP points by finishing over 40 level completions so far. Of those level completions, 5 of them have earned the Triple Crown. Keep up the good work, and I turn it back to you, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for your reports. Next up, we have our Division C director. Please help me welcome Janice Storzak to the floor, to the stage, virtual stage.
Thank you, Mr. District Director Stephen. I am here on behalf of Division C. We have 19 clubs in Division C, and our leadership team includes Area 31, Julieta Petrelli, Area 32, Jackie Schneschnuck, Area 33, Karen Hubert, and Area 34, Rodney Juba. I'm very happy to report that 100% of our clubs submitted their new officer club lists to Toastmasters International by that June 30th deadline, setting the stage for a very positive start on the club's DCP journeys. And I also want to note that some of the data I'm reporting today was prepared as of September 8th. So I may have a few updates as I go through these details. Area director visits. As of September 8th, we had 26% of those reports completed. Super excited to say that that has already bumped to 47%. So thank you for the hard work to all of our area directors, Julieta, Jackie, Karen, and Rodney, for your efforts so far and your plans for informal and formal area visits in the future. Club officer training went quite well. Among the clubs, we had 79% of club officers trained. I wish to congratulate 7 of our clubs in Division C for having 7 officers trained. Manitoba Hydro, Wawanesa Speakeasy, Summit, Frank Parlour, Island Shore, Selkirk, and Speaking Made Easy. Good job, everyone. Sunshine Clubs, a special project in my heart over the years. We had 11 clubs in Division C who held meetings over the summer. Healthy Talkers, Manitoba Hydro, HSC, Portage, Summit, Core Communicators, Frank Parlour, Island Shore, Selkirk, Whiteshell, and Speaking Made Easy. We now wait with anticipation to hear who gained 2 new members at least by the end of September to get that new shiny yellow ribbon. Between July 1st and September 8th, we had 14 level completions by members of clubs across Division C. 3 level 1s, 2 level 2s, 4 level 3s, and 5 from the level 4, level 5 DTM designation. Congratulations especially to Connie Bach out of Summit and Laurette Greenlay from Speaking Made Easy. Both completed their DTM very recently. Let's applaud those ladies. And congratulations, we have 3 clubs already earning some DCP points in the first 10 weeks. HSC has 1, Summit has 3, Speaking Made Easy has 1. I'm not sure if those numbers have bumped, but they may have. And our members, we have in Division C, as of July 1, 272 Toastmaster members. We grew by September 8th by 6 more members, and I think there are a few more that are on the dashboard. However, we do have some clubs that have 10 or less, and the division is going to work hard. Our team, our area directors and I will work hard to help those clubs boost their and solidify their membership. So if you see on the division calendar or on Facebook any promotions about open houses from clubs in Division C, please carefully consider attending and making those meetings robust. Back to you, Mr. District Director.
Thank you so much, Janice, for your Division C director's reports. Next up, we have our Division D director, Patrick Goodridge. Please present your reports.
Thank you, Mr. Division Director. Here's my report for Division D. First, I want to say good shout out to all majority of the clubs. At least 4 officers have been trained in each of the clubs, so very well done there. So Area 41. Area Director is Ralph McQueen, who has completed 2 of his area visits so far, and he has 2 more scheduled for the coming months. So well done, Ralph. Manageable Morning has returned to regular meeting September 7th. All 7 officers are trained. They have returning member and Carrie Lipachak come back, and a new member joined their meeting in the same meeting. Welcome, Lou, to Division D. ASAP has been having successful hybrid meetings and currently planning the fall TOI. All 7 officers are trained and membership dues are paid. ASAP members are actively committed to bring a new guest to each meeting. Millennium Toastmasters currently being off-site, but they will be back at the regular location at Atlantic Garden City United Church in October. They've completed a club success plan, and 5 officers are trained, and all membership dues are paid. Keystone speakers continually meet every 3rd Monday of the month on Zoom. They are a specialty club that would focus on business-oriented educational sessions, helping members achieve accredited speaker designations, and all 7 officers are trained. Area 42, Karen Kaiser-Cates as the area director. She currently has scheduled many visits with her clubs coming up in the next few months. Well done, Karen. Currently speaking, has acquired 1 new member in May and 2 new members in June, and each new member has a mentor assigned. Welcome Michelle, Marianne, and Hannah to Division D. All 6 officers are trained. The club success plan is complete, and it is highlighted. The members' goals are clearly identified. They have an open house plan for October 23rd to celebrate Toastmasters 100 years. So everyone, please come down if you're available. Virtual Toastmasters has an open house plan for coming up this week, September 24th. Guest speaker will be Maurice Domino. Lorette Greenway, their club coach from last year, will continue to be around to help the club increase their memberships. They have 5 officers trained. License to speak. Got a new member in June and July. Welcome Natasha, welcome Rachel. License to speak will attend Butcher's Toastmasters open house on the 24th. Some of the membership will attend the fall rally in person. Look to see everybody there. Pathways overview, they have scheduled for October the 1st. Open house is scheduled for October 22nd. It'll be a potluck and to celebrate 100 years of Toastmasters, 6 officers trained. Headliners is a mighty group that's continuing to work on increasing their membership goals. All 7 officers are trained and membership dues are paid. Area 43, Kaku Coffee is the area director of that area. Starbucks Professional Development Toastmasters doing well, attracting guests and working the program. President John Funk is providing strong leadership and using the WhatsApp to enhance communication among club executives. 6 officers are trained. Perry Voices just got back into good standings. Good job on them. And is rebuilding the club in regards to membership. Club coach Susan Page will be there to support them as they continue to have a vibrant meetings on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of every month. 5 officers are trained. Carolina Toastmasters, 6 officers are trained. And I want to give a shout out to President Cheryl Poirier for receiving her 3rd DTM. Well done, Cheryl. The club has reached sunshine status with 2 new members. Welcome, Andrea, and welcome, Taylor. Store to North, Toastmasters has 7 officers trained. And Wednesday over Waverly Toastmaster for Area 44. Right, sorry, let me just get that here. Area 44, Annie Henry is the area director there. Toastmasters IG recently got off suspension and they remain regularly in the process of rebuilding the club. 6 officers trained. West Winders Toastmasters are hosting the fall rally and 6 officers are trained and 2 educational goals are met. So well done, West Winders. Wednesdays off Waverly have 7 officers trained. BC Super Speaks are currently continue to have active meetings and 1 new member in July. Welcome, Edith. And that is my Division D report. Back to you, Mr. District Director.
Thank you so much, Patrick. And thank you once again to all the division directors of District 64. I am very grateful for your service as well as your teams and all the clubs that you're helping support. Thank you for your reports. Your reports have been filed or will be filed. So next item of business is the executive reports. Each leader will have a maximum of 5 minutes and will be signaled. Of course, we have a timer. Thank you, Connie, once again for your service through this meeting. So for the timing lights, it will be marking that time. So the first report that we have, we're welcoming back to the stage, Lloyd William.
Thank you, Stephen. You guys know I'm colorblind and I see red as green, but we'll go with that anyway. So I have a report. This is in Keynote because I now own a Mac. So I wanted to do the financial report and do a little bit about cash flow instead of the whole profit and loss thing that was done before. So I thought I'd start with a little bit of humor, maybe. So this is what, 2 + 2 = 5. No, that's not your finance manager being a terrible with math. It was something, if Svetlana was here, I wanted to share. She's last year's finance manager. The first entry I made at Toastmasters as your finance manager this year was an invoice for something, and I made a mistake. And it took 2 months to correct, and she would understand that better than anybody here. You make a mistake, it takes you so long to correct them with Toastmasters. But I want to share information on cash flow today. Prior to COVID, district membership was at a higher level. Therefore, the budget allocation from Toastmasters in the form of that 25% membership dues was much higher. And here's a display of what it looks like over those years. With the COVID-fueled membership losses, the district funds that were available to us dropped 42%, all the way down to $23,648 in 2021-2022. Since then, though, as David said, the membership has been picking up, and we now have this district budget of $32,389. We're trending upwards. Most of this is due to an increase in the membership. Well, another portion will be due to the fact that Toastmasters has raised the membership dues. So before we were paying $45, we got 25% of that for $11.25 per member. And currently, starting as of October 23rd last year, or October 2023, it's $60 memberships. We get 25% of that, so $15. So we get a little bit more money, but it's not all just the money. A lot of it is the membership as well. As the district strives to return to pre-COVID normal activities, such as in-person district meetings, in-person special events, and in-person contests, there's going to be a need to keep a keen eye on the budget, as there is substantial less wiggle room than previous to COVID. And you notice there's an $8,000 to $10,000 difference. So that supported a lot of activities. The one thing I wanted to point out is how much cash we have. So our bank account balances to the end of August 31st, our Bank of Montreal main account has $4,814 in it. Our spring conference account that we use for the spring conference has $2,423. And the district reserve, where Toastmasters, they hold this money, there's $5,646 there. So we have at this time a total of $12,883. So I just wanted to note, in recent years, like back when COVID was happening, because we weren't spending our money, we had as much as $40,000 in that district reserve. However, as that is higher than allowed by the Toastmasters governing documents to ensure their nonprofit status is protected, Toastmasters would claw back a percentage of that, and they've been taking a lot of it over the past few years, and I mentioned $14,000 last February. So in order to ensure that future District 64 funds were less susceptible to this clawback, your 2023-24 district team, headed by past district director David Story, applied some of that excess right here at home so that we could use the money at home here instead of them taking it back. So while a smaller reserve protects the district funds for use locally, it means the district has to be more mindful of the budget depth, so to speak. For instance, the settling of the trio's trip down to Anaheim would take a lot of that out, but September is a month where we start to get our money back from membership. So in the next month and a half, we're probably getting 14,000 back in revenue. So each district meeting, I just want you to know that as your finance manager, I'm going to show you a profit and loss report, and we saw that earlier on. I'm going to show you the bank account balances, and I might mention something about cash flow at each district meeting when we have them. Respectfully submitted, Lloyd Gwillem, District 64, Finance Manager 2024-2025. Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much, Lloyd, and thank you for your service and providing that information on our district finances. We'll be definitely watching that carefully and tracking through the year. Next up on our list, we have our public relations manager, public relations report by our public relations manager, Don Wood. Don.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Hope you can all hear me. Yes, yes. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. District Director. District Council, fellow Toastmasters. Good to see everybody. So many people online today. The District Public Relations team is ready for a fun and successful year. We have a great team this year. Susan Page is our MailChimp administrator, keeping the membership informed through emails. Marcus Lee Nabat is our 2024-2025 website administrator, overseeing our District 64 website. Production of our district newsletter, filled with events, deadlines, and celebrating accomplishments, will be worked on by Kent Hendrich, our newsletter editor. The district executive has applied to the provincial government to have the third week in October to be proclaimed as Toastmasters Week in Manitoba, corresponding with the 100th anniversary of the organization. Our goal is to help clubs develop and implement promotional programs using social media, posters, brochures, and other marketing avenues. As part of this goal, every month a public relations challenge will be issued. An assignment, if it were, to better promote your club. And any member of the club executive can assist, not just the Vice President of Public Relations. And the September challenge is, drum roll please, I can share my screen here. It will be the Clean Up Your Club Contact Challenge. That little button on the Toastmaster website that says Contact Club. Do you know where that link goes? Somebody submits something. Is it getting to the right person? Is a response coming back? Well, this is my challenge for you this month. The plan is, bear with me here, and it's very simple. Just, wrong one. Oh, yes, here it is. Free toast toast. Yes. Simply, you can actually do this in any search engine, how to update your club contact on Toastmasters International site. It's a simple matter of logging in, going to my home, going to Club Central, club contact and meeting information, and seeing if it's up to date. Do you know whose email is there? Is there an email? Did the member leave 3 years ago? Update it. And once you do, send me an email, publicrelations@district64.ca. Let me know, and I'm going to test it out. And next division meeting, we're going to have a draw, and 2 lucky clubs will win a prize of some value. Anyway, with that, that's my report, and let's make it a successful year. Back to you, Mr. District Director.
Thank you so much, Don, for your report. And next up on the list, we have our Club Growth Director, Connie Bach, to deliver the Club Growth Director's report. Connie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. District Director. District 64 Toastmasters. I am happy to report the Club Growth Director team is hard at work and so busy that I think I might have missed summer. Do you think I can have a do-over? I don't know. Nonetheless, the fall is here and the Toastmaster year has started off with a bang. I want to welcome our newest chartered club to District 64. Please help me welcome Bison Global Communicators, and it's been mentioned already, but I want to officially welcome. Thank you to Katrina and her crew for all your hard work as sponsors and your continued hard work as mentors. I'm excited to have Bison Global Communicators as part of the District 64 community. And we learned about community at the convention, and I find that word is so telling of the Toastmaster environment. The extension team is working hard on a few potential prospects, and so far, the ones that we've been talking to have some fairly high interest in building a club. We're looking for members who want to be sponsors, mentors, or maybe potentially help on the demo team this year. As a team, we're working on compiling target lists for some cold calls, reaching out to past clubs that we've lost over the years, and looking at areas for developing new clubs. If you have an idea of a prospect or want to help out with being a sponsor, a mentor, or part of the demo team, please reach out to me. We will welcome you with open arms. On the retention side, the team has been working on getting reminders out about renewals. Here's another reminder. Deadline is coming up at the end of the month. To be a club in good standing, you need a minimum of 8 members paid by end of September 30th. This allows you to get your DCP point, and that's an easy DCP point to get your club started off on the right track. If you need assistance on how to process the payment, please reach out to anybody on the executive. If we can achieve getting that DC point, I think we can. The traveling gavel has set out on its journey through the district. Manitoba Hydro, and you can see Patrick's background, has captured the gavel from Crossroads Toastmasters this past week. Where will it go next? The journey through the district is started. The club ambassadors are out in full force visiting clubs. We've had a total of 60 visits so far from 32 different people. We've had a few clubs that are struggling and can use the support. So if you have the time, please consider supporting those clubs to have quality meetings. If your club is needing the support, please email Karen Kaiser-Cates at ambassador@district64.ca. I'll put the email in the chat when I'm done here. So Karen can let the troops know you're needing support. Together, we can build our club so we all have strength in our numbers. Lastly, the retention team is working on building the club coaches numbers up. We have approximately 26 clubs that are eligible for a coach. We're working to reach out to pair clubs and coaches, and so far we've got 7 coaches officially signed up, and 10 more are on the list here that we just need to match up. If you're a club that needs a coach, or you're someone in the club that hasn't completed the club coach module, or you're interested in being a club coach and will not complete the module, Doreen and myself will be hosting a workshop right after this meeting at 1 o'clock on Zoom, and we'll go through the module together. By the end of the hour, you'll be ready to be a coach or be ready to support a coach in your club. Let me know in the chat and I will send you the Zoom link to the workshop. It'll be wonderful to get all 26 clubs to have a coach. As for me specifically, it's been a whirlwind of a first couple of months. Oh my gosh, where is the months gone? My first district leader training and international convention was such a special experience. I've learned so much, met some amazing, passionate people who have developed great friendships with that I can bounce ideas off. I came home with so many ideas that I want to try this year. It's going to be a great year. I can feel it. There's so much positivity in each of you, and you've all stepped up to explore your journey within the Toastmasters and District 64 as a whole. Thank you to my team for all your hard work, your great ideas for planning this year. Hopefully we'll get an opportunity to get all of your ideas done this year. The energy is contagious, and I can't wait to see how far each of you and the whole district grow this year. Cheers to District 64. Mr. District Director, this is my club growth report for September 2021. September 21st, 2024. There we go.
Thank you so much, Connie, for your reports. The next report that we have is Doreen Robin, our Program Quality Director's report. So Doreen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. District Director, fellow Toastmasters. I don't, 2024-2025 year has been off to a great start. I'll quote a movie that I truly love. It's been Fast and Furious, as always. My gosh, I don't know. July comes and then it's the end of September before you know it, because the district is so busy. First off, we started off with our club officer training. Actually, it even started before we got into the new year. Provided a great success. Thank you. A big shout out to Adam Belair for working hard, setting up this club officer training event. Greatly appreciated, Adam. We had 378 out of 464 officers fully trained. So that's 81%. Right on, Adam. Great job. Impressing. Including Bison communicators who were in the process, well, of chartering. So that's even better. That's great to see that Bison stepped up to the plate to get their club officers trained. That's good news. Okay, 61 out of, at this time, 66 clubs reached the goal of having 4 officers trained, so that's 92%. And out of the 66 clubs, 25 out of the 66 clubs have 7x7 officers trained, so good job. And again, Adam, that's all you're doing, all your hard work, the many hours you've put into doing that. I am so very thankful that Adam is my club officer trainer this year. Next, we have our Sunshine Club. Well, my stats are really out the window because everybody else has mentioned them, but I'll mention what I had when I saw the last. Because you know how we update in District 64, everybody gets going and starts. So far, as my Sunshine Club coordinator has told me, we have 4 clubs that have qualified as a Sunshine Club, which is great. That's awesome. And I believe, Harry, what did you put in chat? We had 12 clubs? I think you mentioned involved in the Sunshine. So that's great.
Clubs registered. 16 clubs registered.
Thank you, Harry. Wonderful. It's a great program to get that banner or ribbon saying I was a Sunshine Club. I know here in Flin Flon we had it one year and it felt really good. I know we don't meet very often over summer, but it's just to keep us going in Toastmasters, because sometimes we hit a lull. And this is working me into my next part, because we hit a lull. September comes, everybody's busy. Are we really going to continue with Toastmasters? Well, Adam again is working hard for us to rally us, because our fall rally is coming up next Saturday, September 28th. Unfortunately, I will not be there in person. I will be there in Zoom. That weekend is a busy weekend for myself personally, and I want to take the time to honor the Truth and Reconciliation Day and different things that are happening here in Flin Flon. So I will be at home doing different events for Truth and Reconciliation. But I can't wait to see everybody at the fall rally. So I hope you sign up. It's going to be fun. There's going to be lots of good laughs happening. All right, a reminder to everyone, this is very important. Pathways, as you know, will be shutting down beginning of October. I believe by October 8th, there will be no pathways until hopefully, and we say hopefully, October 27th. We are getting a new LMS system put in. My recommendation to you, Toastmasters, is to download the paths that you are working on so you can continue working on them throughout the month of October, and hopefully it will only be the month of October. If you need any help with this and figuring out what to do, call on Patrick. I'm sure he would be more than happy to help any club get where they need to be for the month of October, because the last time, as somebody mentioned earlier, the last time we had a shutdown of pathways, it was for 6 months. So I just want everybody to be prepared and just having something to do while they're at their Toastmasters meetings, like giving speeches Okay, upcoming events. Toastmasters Week. We have Toastmasters Week coming up in October. We have our fall TLI hosted by Robert McDowell and ASAP. Our second round of club officer training, can you believe it, is only a month away, month and a half away. Like, oh, I thought last year went fast. This year's going by even faster for me. I don't know. Then we'll hit the speech contest in January until April. We'll have Winter TLI in there in February with hosting is June Story and myself and the Selkirk Club. Spring conference will be May 9th and 10th. This summer, as Connie mentioned earlier, we traveled to Anaheim for training. My goodness, the training is phenomenal. The information you receive, the friendships you make that last forever is second to none. It is such a great experience. And I have to thank COVID for this because I wouldn't be sitting here today talking to you about this training if it hadn't been for COVID and extending out my Toastmaster visits that I could online. So, and I know this year it's going to be great. I would like to thank my team from the bottom of my heart for helping me with all the quality programming you have done. For District 64 for allowing me and electing me into this trio position last year. If anyone has any questions or needs some help, please reach out. I am more than happy to help. And if I can't find the answer, I will find it for you. Or if I don't have the answers for you, I will find it for you. I want everyone to have a great year. And in spring conference, when we are having fun, reminiscing about this past year and how many pathways and how many distinguished clubs we make and new clubs, we'll have some good laughs over that. Back to you, Mr. District Director.
Thank you so much, Doreen, for your program quality director's report. So the last report for the executive, I guess, is my own as a district director. So hello, district council and members watching on, and those members that are watching on live stream. I can't believe, and it's been mentioned a number of times, how fast time is moving. We're almost 25% of the way through this Toastmasters year. Can you believe it? Here we are at the district council meeting, and this is one of the first major milestones that formally kicks off every year with completing important business that we've just completed for the district, along with submitting key documents that the executive team needs to submit before the end of the month to Toastmasters International. That includes the budget and our district success plan. It is so early, it's still so early, but I'm already energized and inspired by hearing so many great things that are happening from all the division director reports and the executive reports already. And we're only a quarter of the way through the year, and there's still so much more time to continue building on that momentum. I'm confident our district will experience this continuing growing momentum that we're on, and we're on the cusp of achieving amazing things this Toastmasters year. In fact, this is a crucial year to maximize our district's momentum upwards. As some of you may have heard, this past Toastmasters International Convention, the board of directors had communicated to members that districts in regions 1 through 7 will be assessed and their borders will be reorganized. District 64 will be a part of this change. However, this change will not directly impact this current Toastmasters year, 2024-2025. In fact, any formal border changes will not happen until July 1st, 2026. However, that will emerge. Toastmasters International has communicated really good reasoning for these changes, and that will ultimately lead to more healthy organization as a whole, more healthy districts, clubs, and members alike. I do not have enough time in this report to share all the details. However, we will send communication out soon about this coming change. And I'm also planning on hosting a district director fireside chat coming in early to mid-October, which will be a virtual event. Please watch out for the Zoom event to come to your inbox near you. I encourage the district council membership to attend so that we may engage and continue in this conversation together as things progress forward. Though this recent news means there's some uncertainty ahead for District 64, that should not dissuade us from making meaningful action today, where I'm convinced District 64 can shine brightly and achieve distinguished status. This is something that has not happened in a decade. Let's show the world what our membership can achieve together. And with this, I'd like to close with some positive messaging. Every distinguished journey starts with a first step. To me, the Toastmasters year starts with taking a first step with anticipation, service, tenacity that ultimately leads for every member new steps in personal growth. So a first step. As district director, I'm grateful for the opportunity to lead the district executive committee comprised of amazing people led by the Fab Five. That includes myself as district director, Doreen Roman, program quality director, Connie Bach, club growth director, Don Wood, public relations manager, and Lloyd William, district finance manager. Very grateful for your service. I'm looking forward to this coming year working together. Anticipation. Under David Story's leadership last year, our members have taken a massive step, raising the bar for District 64 to aspire to achieve new heights. Service. It's inspiring to see a new Toastmasters army stepping up to serve our members, clubs, and district success. Through amazing people serving and growing together, magic will happen. Service. It's inspiring to see tenacity. I believe through our members' dedication, our core values of respect, integrity, service, excellence, it can move mountains to enable members and clubs' success. I think the stage is set with anticipation fueled with dedicated service while learning and growing with ferocious tenacity. I'm convinced this combination will fuel the fire for us to achieve club, area, division, and district distinguished status. This year will happen so fast, so jump in and embrace your Toastmasters journey so that we can achieve success together. So that concludes the district executive reports. I'd ask for the reports to be filed. Now, the next order of business, which I don't think we have, but I will ask the administration manager, Sylvia, do we have any new business to table?
No, we do not have any new business.
With not having any new business, we'll move on to the announcements. I would like to welcome to the stage Susan Page to help facilitate us through the announcements. Susan, the floor is yours.
Great. Thank you very much, Stephen. As far as announcements go, our first one will be Carol Runyons. Carol, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Susan. I would like to announce, I need to adjust this. There we are. First time today. I would like to announce that, confidently speaking, a Toastmasters group comprised mainly of government workers who meet at noon on Wednesday are planning to have an open house on October the 23rd. That's our regular meeting day, and it's the day after the big anniversary in Toastmasters International. We want to celebrate Toastmasters and have recognition of the ongoing value of this organization. Looking at it in the past, present, and future, we have a couple of speakers lined up. Details will follow, and we'll have them placed on the calendar. Back to you, Connie.
Thank you very much, Carol. Next announcement is from Cal Sigurdsson.
Thank you, Susan. Cal Sigurdsson here. I wish to tell everybody about District 64. Crossroad Toastmasters will be having their open house on Wednesday, October 23rd. Seems to be a busy day and popular one. We will be hosting it from 7 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. and showcasing the positive impact that Toastmasters has had on an individual. Crossroads' very own Susan Page will be sharing her life journey on how Toastmasters helped her gain her self-confidence and self-esteem from being the shy one in the corner who wouldn't speak to winning speech contests and being the recently being a leadership award recipient. And again, that's Wednesday, October 23rd, Crossroad Toastmasters from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. College Pierre Elliott Trudeau School on 216 Redonda Street. We hope to see you there.
Great. Thank you, Cal. Next up, Adam Belair.
Thank you, Susan. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Pardon me not having a camera up. I'm actually driving right now, doing deliveries for the Winnipeg Humane Society. I just wanted to quickly touch on the fall rally that is coming up on the 28th of September, this upcoming Saturday. It is going to be from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Everybody is welcome. There is absolutely no cost to it. We are going to have a fun time. We'll be having a area director sit-down chat with June Story hosting to describe why you should consider becoming an area director. It is a lot of fun. We will also be having our awards handed out. This includes the area director of the year, division director of the year, and the Toastmaster of the year. Pardon, I forgot the full name of the trophy, as well as the 7 of 7 times 2 ribbons, the area director ribbons, and a few other awards. Also, the Triple Crown Awards will be handed out by Stephen. We also have Alfred Kirpern going to do a keynote speech. I unfortunately forget the name of the title right now. Alfred could correct me on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I encourage everybody to register and sign up. It'll be both on Zoom and in person. And I hope to see everybody there. Back to you, Susan.
Thank you very much, Adam. Next is Doreen Roman.
Thank you, Susan. Oh my goodness. I just want to tell you, because I didn't say the date, Fall TLI will be held November 16th. Robert McDowell and ASAP Toastmasters will be hosting. More details to follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Doreen. Next, Janet Pigeon.
Sorry, Mike. I don't know if am I unmuted?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, it's telling me I'm not. Hi, for those who don't know, we have a Toastmaster book club, which meets today. We generally meet on the day of the district meeting. Today, because there's a district meeting, we'll meet at 1:30 instead of 1 o'clock. The book we are reviewing is Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. And sorry, I forget the name of the author at this point. And each year we nominate books. We vote on which books we're going to read. And so please come out and experience it. And if you love reading, you'll love this club. You can let me know if you want to join.
Thanks, Janet. Next, we have Karen Kazik-Cates.
Can't hear you.
Oh, we can't hear you, Karen.
Can I try that again?
Yep,
Fellow
there you go.
Toastmasters, Birchwood Toastmasters is having an open house on Tuesday, September 24th at noon. The speaker is Maurice Domino, and his topic is Why Toastmasters? Bring a whole group of people. Come on down and have a really entertaining talk by a very accomplished speaker. And I know you will be inspired and enthused with your Toastmasters journey. If you want to, you can email me at karenkaisercates@hotmail.com and I will send you the link. There's also Speaking Made Easy is having an open house at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, September 24th, and the topic is the opioid crisis. The speaker hails from Toastmasters in the Arts, Darcy Truthwaite. Come join us for an informative evening, and I know you won't be disappointed. You can also email me as well for the link. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Karen. Next, Patrick.
Afternoon, everyone. I just want to give a quick announcement to Anishinaabe Toastmasters. They just recently came back and they are now doing hybrid meetings. They meet Wednesdays 5:30 to 6:30 at the Manitoba Indigenous Cultural Center, 119 Sutherland. But they do offer hybrid meetings, so you can come in person or come online. We definitely just invite everybody, please come down and just support them. And hey, if you find them interesting, which I know you will, join them as well. If you want any information, just send an email to me, and I'll get you in contact with the proper information to have you come down and be our guest. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Logistics Manager.
Great. Thanks, Patrick. Laverne, you're up next.
Hello, Karen kind of stole my thunder there a bit with the open house at Speaking Made Easy. But I just wanted to say it was September 24th at 7 p.m.
Great. Thank you very much. Second last is myself. I just want to make a mention that it's mentioned before, the Traveling Gavel is making its appearance again this year, and Crossroads has had it, but Manitoba Hydro, as you can see Patrick's background, they stole the gavel this past week, and so they have it. So I encourage anybody that wants to steal the gavel, it is up for grabs both online and in person, and Manitoba Hydro has it, so contact Patrick if your club wants to go and steal that gavel. We're going to try and get it all the way around the district this year. And finally, our last announcement will be from our fearless leader. Floor is yours, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Susan. So I have to communicate that when's our next district meeting? Our next district meeting that's going to be coming up is October 26th, and it will be at the Dakota Library. That's in the St. Vital area, and that'll be our district meeting. And we're also going to do a mini 100th anniversary celebration event as well. So this will be a hybrid event. So the morning portion will just be the standard district meeting with the reports, and then in the afternoon from 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. We'll have some fun events and some interesting keynotes and some educationals and fellowship for us to get together to celebrate, the journeys that we're on, and then the journeys that are still yet to come in Toastmasters. So it should be a lot of fun. So definitely watch for a registration for October 26th. Oh, and coincidentally, October 22nd every year is Toastmasters' actual birthday. So this will be during Toastmasters week that runs from, I think it's like the 19th through the 26th for that
Can
week.
I leave? Holy crap, thanks.
You're very welcome. So it must be unmute. So with that, so I should also mention our next district council meeting is tentatively on our District 64 calendar, currently set for May 3rd, but that might change contingent on the formal signing of our spring conference contract and when the spring conference will be, because the district meeting will happen 1 week in advance of our spring conference. So once we get that dialed in and formally approved, which is going to be happening very soon, I think, so we'll be able to nail down that date, but currently it's tentatively scheduled for May 3rd. So that will contain our larger district elections and more voting on important business at that time. So I think that concludes all the announcements and orders of business. I think we've gone through the agenda. And with that, I want to give the crack of the gavel to show the closure and adjourn this meeting. This meeting is adjourned. Very grateful for everyone's participation, the planning team to make this happen, everyone who came to participate and deliver the reports, everyone who's online watching on the YouTube live stream. Very grateful for everyone's participation. I can now proudly say, meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Stephen.